Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 14 minutes now to go to the hour of 7 o'clock. Very shortly, we'll be hearing from Dr. Sue. As you know, last week we told you about her book, Leading Beside. Very interesting book indeed. But there's so many other interesting bits that she's put together in the novels, and she's written another book called 30+1 Transformative Thoughts. I want to talk to her a little bit about that because it seems as though she's been able, through the life of Job, to note for us a thought per day. I mean, there are 31 days generally in a month, except for, you know, those with less days, fewer days. And certainly we want to be able to talk to her a little bit more about her passion behind that, transformative thoughts, 30+1, and it surely is going to be quite interesting. We're also looking forward this morning to be talking to our pediatrician about taking care of our children. Those milestones that children mark are so critical, and it is critical that we intervene as soon as possible so that we're able to address any concern. So from baby right through, we'll talk to our pediatrician a little bit about that. But Dr. Sue is back. Dr. Sue, good morning again to you. Good to have you.
Good morning, Pearson. Really happy to be on again. Honored. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity again.
Because you were so good the last time. We thought we can't lose this opportunity. You did it yourself, so thank you for that. And we want to encourage people, you know, the new book is called Leading Beside, and it's pre-ordering now. Pre-ordering season, folks. And you can call her on 233-2193, or you can drop her an email to drsueinspiration@gmail.com to pre-order Leading
That's
Beside.
inspirations. Plural.
Okay, plural. Thank you for that clarity, ma'am. But then you also, at the end of it, titillated my mind when you told us about 30+1 transformative thoughts, looking at the life of Job. And I thought, you know, that is so interesting. And right away I thought, with 30+1, bring it to 31. Those are the maximum number of days in a month generally. And I thought, there's a thought for every day. How great that is. So tell me about that book, 30+1 Transformative Thoughts.
30+1 Transformational Thoughts. So again, good morning, Barbados, and good morning to all of you. Yes, this particular book is really came out of my own devotion and time with God, to be honest. I was reading Job, and Job normally, as I was saying last week, is one of those books that you are kind of focused on the storyline, and once the storyline is over, then that's it, you know. It was an exciting story. But as I was reading, there were certain things that really kind of jumped out at me, things that he said, things that other people, whether it was the friends that he was around, that they said that kind of raised thoughts in my own mind and challenged me. And so I started to jot them down as ideas, what I at the time called on-the-job learnings. As I continued, I heard, you know, the Holy Spirit say to me, stop scribbling and write. And out of COVID came the book. So the book has a thought for every single day of the month. So you can actually use it as a very good study guide. It's a nice little devotional for those of you, if you're not heavy Bible readers. It just captures a little nugget of the scripture and then gives you a focus. So for example, there's one that talks about commitment to truth and making sure that you're always a person of integrity and walking in truth. And in that particular chapter, I talk about, you know, white lies, gray lies, red lies, black lies, sharing a story of my son and an incident that we had with him. And then it challenges you at the end of each thought with some actions that you can do to help you improve. So things like being committed to the truth no matter what, making sure that you flush out in your own mind some of the reasons why you may choose not to be honest, so that you can get those out of your system, then get people to partner with you in it. And so each thought has these actions attached to it. And then after 5 thoughts, you have what I call an action achievement checkpoint, where you can actually write down some of the things that you think you have done so far and kind of keep track of your own progress. So it has wonderful thoughts like, my error is my concern. You know, taking responsibility for the things that things like start small, end big. Sometimes we have big goals and we don't know how to get to that location. Well, that particular thought helps us to focus on what are some of the first steps that I can take in order to make it happen. And then perhaps one of my favorite thoughts is counting steps, not sins.
Yes.
So often we have people in our lives and we are so focused on the wrongs that they have done that we don't take time to notice when they have done good things, when they have made little steps in terms of their own improvement. And even for ourselves, sometimes we're so hard on ourselves. We don't give ourselves a chance, but we have been making progress. And so the book helps us to focus on those things and to develop in that area. So a wonderful little book that we can use to work with our young people, old people. It's for anybody really who wants to take a journey on moving from one place, transitioning from where you are to the next place. One thought at a time.
I love the checklist because again, if the Bible teaches us right, it tells us in the seventh day he rested.
I'm losing you a little bit, son. I can't hear you.
You're losing me? All right. The Bible tells us, on the seventh day he rested. So there was a moment of thought and a moment of spending time. And so for me, the book.
Pearson?
Are you getting
I'm
me?
not hearing you at all.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's take her off. Just I'll let you,
sure.
Sam, you deal with that, and then we'll come right back to Dr. Sue. So I just want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, the book is called 30+1 Transformational Thoughts by Dr. Suzette Husbands. You just saw her there. We're going to sort that out because there's so much more we can learn from this. And it really focuses on the life of Job, that biblical character. And it's more than just a character. His life has meaning for a lot of us. What an interesting story Job lived. He was tested. He had everything. Everything was taken from him. And then he was tested. His friends came by and said, why don't you curse God and just be good again? And Job remained steadfast to his belief in God. And so he came through victorious. And so this book by Dr. Sue, I believe, is one of those books that can help us to become quite victorious in everything that we're doing. So it's called 30+1 Transformational. You back with me now?
Yes, it seems I'm back here.
Good. So
I'm not sure what happened just now.
Me neither. But I'm glad that you're back indeed. I was just sharing with folks the story of Job, just a little bit from my limited Bible knowledge, and when you stop to think about it a little bit about Job and everything he's been through, there's so much one can learn from that experience.
Yes, and it's interesting because often that's where we focus. We just focus on all the things that Job has been through, but there are so many things he has said that makes sense in real life. So it's not only his story of his journey of loss and the anguish, because Job went through serious depression.
Yes.
And a lot of us nowadays are going through that because of the COVID, because of the challenges that we're faced with. And so we hear Job's journey, we hear his pain, we feel the times when he is afraid. One of the things he was afraid of was the fact that he could possibly lose everything. And he said, the thing that I feared most has come upon me. So he experienced the real fears that we experience. He experienced the trauma. He felt like he would die. He wanted to give up on life. But throughout that, Job said things that were really important. One of my other favorite ones, I have a lot to guess, is, yet I won't lash out.
Yes.
So often we are in situations and we are angry to the max. We will blow our tops. We see smoke, all kind of things coming out of our nostrils because of the challenges that we are faced. But Job said, in spite of everything, I am not going to lash out. I am going to maintain my behavior, control this anger and this emotion. Oh my goodness. So, the book, the discipline, correct? Yeah. The discipline of doing what you have to do. And so that is really, really awesome in terms of this book. Powerful little book. Somebody told me it's small enough to just drop in your bag for the ladies. For the gentlemen, you can put it in your back pocket.
Yes.
A great tool for learning and for growing. Moving yourself from one place to the next. Excellent little book.
Again, growth requires discipline as well. So again, it's a great opportunity for you to begin the journey. And as I was saying before you had your little moment with your earphones, that on the seventh day he rested. So your checklist allows us to pause for just a moment and look
That's right.
at what we've been
That's
able to
right.
achieve. Because sometimes
That's right.
for the big picture, we lose the little steps that we've taken. And
That's right.
I think the process, as laid out in the book, 30+1 Transformational Thoughts, is so important as
That's
we,
right.
we engage with the book. And don't take it
Yes.
for granted that we need
That's
to
right.
pause and reflect. And this book is
That's
available.
So important.
This
It's
book is
available.
available.
It is available. It's right here in Barbados. So it's available. It's available on Amazon as well. So you can. So if those of you who like to do the e-reading, it's available on Amazon, but it's also available right here in Barbados. You can contact me. My information is there, as Pearson has mentioned, 233-2193, and you can feel free to reach out to me to have the book. We're working towards getting it in a couple of bookstores, but I've not confirmed that as yet, so I don't want to put that out there without knowing for sure where. But for certain, you can reach me and you can get a hold of the book. Personally, I don't know how much more time I have because I know we dropped out a little bit. Can I just squeeze in one more comment quickly?
Sure, you may. Yes,
I
you
also have a book for children.
may.
So it's my little handbook, and since this is Child Month, I wanted to also put this out here. It's a one for the child and one for the adult. So it really focuses on some 5 values using your fingers to remind children of important things like I will love others, I will stick with it, I will love God, I will not lie, I will not cheat, things like that. So the child has his own little book, and then the parent has a little story that they can read them. This is also available.
So you know what that means. I'm going to book you for
I
next
am
week.
back. No problem. Happy to come back.
Good. So we'll look at that one next time around. Thank
Next
you
week.
so much, Dr. Sue. Thank you so much as usual.
Much.